what's going to happen is they're going to create virtual food, and they're going to make it that there's a thing that in order for your thing to stay alive, you've got to feed it. Just like on The Sims, the food will go down.
And they'll charge you for it.
What's up, baby? We back. Welcome to another episode of Rated G with Gary G. Garcia and Brian Licata. I am your host, Gary G. Garcia, along with my brother, my partner in Misinformation, Brian Licata. How you feeling, brother?
Great, bro. Good to see you. Am I coming in okay? Nice and loud on the mic?
Yeah, I feel you. I hear you. We're chilling. I noticed that we both got the gray going on today, man. Kind of feeling the same vibe over here.
Yeah, I'm not feeling gray. I'm wearing gray, but I'm not feeling gray at all.
Yeah, I'm coming out of my depression. You know,
I think I am too, man. I'm starting to see the light.
I was very depressed for like the last week or so. Yeah, last couple of episodes, I was a little depressed, a little doom and gloom, but I'm feeling better now, man. You know, the holidays are over. I got a dope. This is my my cup from my daughter.
Oh, I thought it was Zach's.
Listen, if your daughter says it, it must be true. Best comedian ever.
Was that a Christmas gift? I like that.
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift. One of the many.
Very nice.
My daughter always looks out for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I like that.
How was your holidays? Now that the holidays are over, Happy New Year's to you.
Thanks,
Happy
man.
New Year's to our listeners, man, our followers. Hope you guys are safe, and hope you had a joyous New Year. You know, how was your New Year's? What you wind up doing?
Dude, I didn't do anything. I watched Star Wars: The Phantom Menace actually with my buddy. He was down from the Northeast, and yeah, we didn't do shit. We stayed in.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
All the movies to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just the one we picked. You know, it was. He wanted to watch.
Don't Look Up yet? Have you watched Don't Look Up yet?
I told you I did watch it, but I fell asleep, so I didn't watch the end. I know. I knew you were going to be mad at me for that, and I told you yesterday that I was going to watch it last night.
I'm not mad at you at all. I'm a little disappointed, but it's what I expected. I'm not let down at all. Unfortunately.
I think disappointed and let down is the same thing, no?
Nah, not necessarily.
So I guess
I'm not even disappointed. Disappointed would mean that you did something I didn't expect you to do. And I know who I'm fucking with. You know, I tell them to watch something, they don't watch it. You know, tell them to research shit. You're like, it's not important. It's all right. It's totally fine, man.
See, but you know, and I also tell I'm also like, I'm probably not going to watch that, right? Don't I usually say that, right? I'm not going to watch. It doesn't sound interesting to me. I won't watch it.
Yes, which is usually what you say whenever I tell you to watch something. You
Dude,
tell me to watch something.
True.
You know what I do? What do I do when you tell me to watch something?
See, you know what this speaks to, bro? This speaks to the level of filters me and you have. I'm filtering stuff to a higher degree than you are.
I hate half the shit you send me. I look at it and I go, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is it that this dude just sent me? But I still watch it. I look at it. I give it the benefit of a doubt. Which is all I ask from you, but of course not.
I guess I got to start being open-minded. Is that what we're getting to here?
Just the benefit of a doubt, man. I never ask for anything more from anybody. And that's all I ever get. You know, all I ask is the benefit of a doubt. You know?
In the new year, I will do my best.
Yeah, that means nothing. Means nothing. It
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't mean
I
anything.
reached my New Year's goal. I was not the first murder victim of 2022. So once again, going strong for the last 51 years, although it didn't really become a goal until I hit my 20s. Then I started thinking about shit like that. But I've done it. I made it to 22. I made it not the first murder victim of 2022. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I've managed to do. And big up to everybody else who did it without trying. You know, I went to Wild West with my son, Brian, and we watched the fucking confetti fall.
Oh, that's cool. So at midnight. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, at midnight, it was pretty cool, man. You know, a whole lot of confetti. I noticed something, though, and I don't like to be doom and gloom, Because I noticed I've been like that last couple of weeks. But it was weird. It was a weird New Year's as I looked around and I saw everybody go, Happy New Year. And then like half the crowd started crying. You know what I'm saying? Like people were just crying. And
Really?
yeah, I shed a tear too. I shed a tear, not a long one, but a little tear like the Indian ran down my face. Because I realized for me, and I don't know if this is what I saw, but it kind of felt like every time New Year's comes, and I've never really been big on New Year's, but I always felt like if nothing else, it's a reset. It's a chance to go, fuck everything. It's not a fresh start, but it's a fresh start for that year. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look at it that way. And in that way, it's something cool because you tend to go into it optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Things will be better this year. Things will be better this year. And for me personally, as I looked around and I looked at all the fucking, beyond all the bad, that I was listening to all around me, I just realized that I didn't have no optimism for the new year. Like I felt like it's not going to get better. In fact, it's going to get worse. Going into this year, everybody's all like, excited about what? Like I'm sitting there going, ain't you looking at what's going on around you, dog? It's like when you clean a house, man. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And that's for the first time that I ever felt like that. And I never even been like big on New Year's,
Yeah, man, I agree with you. To me, New Year's is if anything, it's a date that you can reflect on as a point because you always remember like the New Year's before and how you felt. Maybe not necessarily even what you were doing, but kind of how you felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man,
it's a good cyclical, like I can pick this date and then base my life off of that. Because it's hard, man. I mean, weeks, months, years, days, everything blends together.
As it should. I don't get caught up on that. I don't even remember last New Year's. I mean, like if you tell me things that went on, I remember the experience, but I won't remember what year it was.
Yeah, I remember a New Year's or two ago doing the show with you guys at Bally's. I don't know if that was last New Year's or the New Year's before.
Did I eat a dick that night? Because I remember one New Year's, I ate a huge dick and the place was packed. And I ate a huge dick. And it's funny because the memory just came up on my Facebook. Because what happened was, it was hard. They hated me. They didn't like me at all. And which is fine. And I went outside to go to the boardwalk right after I got off. I was walking right outside to go smoke a cigarette on the boardwalk, take a couple hits of a blunt. And this old couple came up to me and they were like, I don't know what those people in there were listening to, but you are a favorite. And you're going to be something big. Keep doing what you're doing. Very cool. And I was like, thank you very much. You just made my New Year's because I was like, man, I just ate a dick for my last performance. And then I took a picture with them. I said, let me take a picture with y'all. And in the picture I wrote, sometimes you connect with everybody. Sometimes you only connect with two. And I said, I'll take that.
That's cool. I like that.
And that's what happened. I connected with two people, and they're still fans to this day. So big up to those two. I don't remember names, but I do remember faces. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you guys are still alive and kicking it and still feeling what I do. Mm-hmm. So respect. I mean, the last week has been cool. Show-wise, a lot of people who've seen me before came through. So I've seen a lot of new same faces, and it's nice to see same faces. New faces are great, but same faces are good because that means that they're coming back to see you.
Right. Yeah, you're resonating or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So big up to all my true fans who actually come out to see me all the time. Pew, 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 pew. Big up to you guys. And even the ones who can't make it. I know some of y'all can't make it, but you're following what I'm doing and you're following me and my man Brian. I appreciate y'all too, man. Any support is support. So big up to y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah, I agree with you too, man. This it's gonna get way worse before it gets better,
7 years.
Yeah.
Mark my words. 7 years. Then
I don't know if you said that to me. Did you say that on the podcast or on the phone to me recently?
Yeah, I don't know where I say anything anymore.
Well, now it's
not really a prediction. It's a prediction, but it's not my prediction. It's just biblical. And if you're looking at
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, if you're looking at Revelations and you're looking at what's going on, it's it's all in Revelations where they talk about not being able to move, buy, sell, trade, without the mark of the beast. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily the mark of the beast. I do believe it's leading up to that. It's getting people primed so that when they hit them with that, they just take it. They don't even put up the fight no more because you saw what happened last time when, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty weird. I just saw a video today. Someone sent me of a McDonald's in Israel.
Yeah.
And you go on the the board, and they ask you, if you have your vaccination. If you don't, the board goes right back to the menu. If you say no, it goes right back to the menu. So you can't order from McDonald's without your thing. And fuck them, live healthier. That's less shit you're putting in your body. You're not gonna full stress me that way. That's not the way to get me. They take away my porn, and then we're gonna have some issues. Can't watch free porn unless you're vaccinated. You get a lot more people vaccinated that way too. All those stay-at-home motherfuckers living off of fucking disability and shit, sitting home watching porn all day. They're like, fuck that, I'm not gonna get vaccinated. I don't even do shit. I order out. And then they take away their porn and watch them run out to fucking get vaccinated. I don't know why my mind thinks stupid shit like this. What is it that got your mind working over there that you're looking for over there?
No. I'm looking up specific stuff about this, about the video you're talking about.
Yeah, someone sent it to me. I forgot.
Yeah, you want to watch it? We can put it up.
They sent it to me on Instagram.
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's it right there. Can't hear you. There's no sound. And now there's no picture. So there's no sound to get.
And here's what happens. When you want to place your order on this screen over here, the way it works is like this. You click English. And now it says, in order to proceed with the order, you must confirm that you have a valid green certificate of your own. So let's say you don't have one. You click don't have. Look at that. It blanks out the screen.
But in reality,
dog, if you don't have...
I guess it's it's a green certificate there or whatever for the validation of vaccination. Yep. But I mean, obviously it's telling you right there. So it's not like it's no surprise that it drops you out. It says you must have it to place the order.
Right. So I wonder what happens. I wonder what you have to do if you says I do have it. If they
and
make
then
you
go
show
up there,
anything.
they're gonna make you show it, of course.
Yeah. Well, I just wonder what on the computer screen what it would say.
Well, that depends. That's the way to do it too, because they don't want to lose money. And then you say, I don't have it on me, and they go, just take the fucking burger and get the fuck out of here. Who knows? These are all laws right here that without the people, they can't enforce them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need the people to enforce them. You need all those idiots to be like, yeah, I'm not going to take care of you because you don't have this. In a store in Wisconsin, in some corner store, they'll be like, they'll come in and check us. They're not coming in to check you, you fucking idiots.
Well, it's impossible. You know what I mean? It's impossible for them to have oversight on everything.
That's what I'm saying. So in order for them to do it, they need the people.
I mean, everything is like that too. I mean, like the common public far outnumbers the government always, And
no one seems to notice that. They rather stay ants. Some people are very happy being ants.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? And they just let the grasshoppers tell them what to do. As long as they don't eat them.
Do you think this is this type of situation is much worse than it was when you were, say, 30 or 20, 25, 30?
Yeah, I thought this shit would be happening, I'd be long gone when this shit was happening. You know what I'm saying? When I was 30s was what? So 1970, 80s, 10, 90s, 20. So 2000s, I was 30.
Right.
I mean,
then 9/11 happened, right?
Then 9/11, yeah. Yeah, once 9/11 hit, I knew shit was different. When people talk about things never went back to normal.
I was in fifth grade. We
just all gave up shit.
I was like 11 maybe when 9/11 happened. And I remembered older people saying how different everything was. And I didn't really understand that because I was young,
Oh yeah, man. All that shit. Everything was just different. It was just, I mean, to me personally, I don't fly a lot. I don't fly really much. Mm-hmm. And, I try to stay, just in my own realm of doing things. Yeah, I drive. But I personally, like, it's never really personally affected me in any way because, like I said, I don't really. But I know the rights that have been taken. You know, when it comes to like needing warrants and tapping and all that shit. You know, right now at this particular point in my life, you know, what do you care? I don't care. You know, but you know, if this shit should pick up and start fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they start looking at us, then they're able to just look into our shit without any kind of whatchamacallits, without any kind of warrants and without anything. They could just do it.
What our government does, most governments, you know, that are similar to us do the same thing, is they mask the intrusion on you as a benefit somehow. Like with 9/11, all the spying, they blamed it on the terrorists. You know, like we need to look in the phones to find the terrorists. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, fuck those motherfuckers. You know, find them, and they did from that technology. I'm not saying it's bad that they did that to find those guys.
So they say.
So they say, of course. But you know, if you're talking to somebody who's completely bought into the bullshit, then you know you have to say like, you know, I don't mind that they use the tech to get the terrorists, but spying on the public, you know, doesn't stop. I mean, dude, all of our shit. I mean, you can look at some of the videos we put out on Facebook.
Oh, dude,
and we don't get plays. People don't.
I'm completely like shut down on TikTok, dude. They shut me down.
Yes,
like, they'll let me post shit,
we're shut down, bro. On
ain't
Facebook
no one gonna
too.
see it.
Facebook too. There's no reason for us to post our shit on Facebook anymore. They won't send it out. And YouTube's gonna be next. So we're gonna have to go to a different platform. People are gonna find us there. I got some ideas, bro. We're gonna get some stuff in VR going on. I got some big shit.
I would hope that it's because we're saying something important.
Dude.
But who knows, man? Whatever, man. You know.
I really think we are, man. And I
mean, I don't know what that is. You know, I don't know what it is. But
I've always known that I've thought differently than other people. Most people, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're probably the same way.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Always, even as a kid, you know?
I like I said, I learned at 12 years old that something was up with the government. At 12 years old. And even before that, I knew you couldn't really trust anybody. Because I joke about the whole Santa Claus fiasco. And, you know, and then people go, that's funny. And then they realize I'm really not joking that you know, parents are the first ones to let you down. They're the first ones to betray your trust. And then they expect you to grow up and to trust other people. I mean, if you can't trust the person who gave birth to you, you know, if that person's going to lie to you, you know, then you know, look at the world you're going into. So you want me to trust my government, but I can't even trust my mother.
Yeah, man, that's, you know, I said that on the last episode. Like, you know, everyone is kind of lying all the time. You know, they're looking, you know, through the lens of their own self. And it's impossible to speak the truth when you just, you know, you think about how everything relates to you all the time. You know, we're inherently selfish. I think so. Yeah, I think we're inherently selfish. You know, it's like, you know, I got to eat, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like more so in our physical nature, our instinctual nature, rather than our mental nature. You know, you're worrying about you got to find how your needs are met.
Your needs got to get met first before you even begin to think about other people.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily true either, man. I mean, there's some people out there who, you know, will have the last fucking chocolate bar in their pocket and give it to someone else.
Of course, man. And that's,
you know, and either that person will split it in half and share it, or they'll be like that chick at the end of the Titanic and eat the whole fucking chocolate bar.
Yeah, that's situational shit. I mean, from like programmed, how we're wired. You know what I mean? Like that is something that I would do too, but how we're really fucking wired. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like I wouldn't want to be on a deserted island with you with no food or nothing, because you're gonna eat me. You're not gonna sit there and see whoever dies first, we eat the other person. You're gonna see to it that you're the one eating me. I'd be sitting there going, all right, let's see, man, you know, let's wait it out. And you'd be like, nah, I'm gonna have to help.
It's true though, man. It really is. That's a fucking great. That's a great comparison, because that's exactly what it's like. It's like, you know,
I would sit there and let nature take its course. You know what I'm saying, and see who dies first. But I know you'd be like, I'm not taking no chances. You know, I'm not taking no chances. How good is he gonna taste when he dies? I got to get him now while he's still, you know, got that fresh meat to eat.
Yeah, and you're naturally flavored with adobo.
Yeah, you know,
some sesame.
You know, get a little man, old man adrenochrome. You know, if you could put enough fear in me.
That's what you got to do. Yeah, you got to scare them first before they die, right? That's how you juice them up.
Supposedly, it doesn't work unless you scare them. You know, and I don't say that as a joke, although I kind of have a smirk on my face when I say it. You know, it's horrible. It's horrible because I do believe that shit goes on, so it's horrible. You know, I mean, there's a name. You look it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look it up, right? What does it say when you look up adrenochrome? Does it give a definition, or is it like just some old conspiracy theorists believe in adrenochrome? Which one is it? I don't know. Let's see. Look it up. It's a chemical. There you go. Chemical compound produced by the oxidation and adrenaline. It was the subject of limited research from the 50s to the 70s as a potential cause of schizophrenia, while it has no current medical application. All right. Well, there it is. There is a thing, adrenochrome. Chemistry, history. And does it have the theories of rich white people drinking it to stay young and healthy?
Not on the Wikipedia page, but it's interesting that it's a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of epinephrine. So that's like EpiPen, you know, adrenaline, epinephrine. That's interesting.
I get the adrenaline pumping, son. It doesn't work unless you scare them. You know.
All right, so this is something that is interesting. At the bottom here, in his 1954 book, *The Doors of Perception*, Aldous Huxley mentioned the discovery and the alleged effects of adrenochrome, which he likened the symptoms of mescaline intoxication.
Although he had never consumed it.
So yeah, dude,
fucking dare you. I love all these people that go against drugs and talk against drugs, and they ain't never even had a bad trip.
No. Huxley, bro, he tripped.
But I'm saying, like, he ain't never tried that.
Right.
So he's just making an assumption. You understand what I'm saying? And that made me think about, like, those people that go against drugs, or drugs do this or drugs do that. If you take this drug, it does this. And they never even tried it. They're not even doctors. They never even tried it. They never even went and had a bad trip to say, oh, don't do mushrooms because, like,
the book,
even the people who had bad trips, I don't hear them telling people, oh, don't do mushrooms.
Yeah, I would never tell someone not to do mushrooms.
Yeah, because they know they had a bad trip because they probably pieces of shit who, their own self was reflected on them and they didn't like what they saw.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's like most of the time you have people saying, don't do this, don't do that. It does this to you, it does that to you. Like all these people that was against marijuana for all these years.
Right.
I never even smoked it. Then shut up. Then what do you care?
Yeah,
then shut the fuck up.
Right, yeah, you don't know. You don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't be talking about shit that I don't. Well, I do be talking a lot of shit about shit I don't know about. But let me rephrase.
Welcome to Rated G, people.
Look, that's Rated G is all about me talking shit about shit I don't know about. But like, in other words, I don't go at people like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm a little tangled at words, I guess, right now. It's been a minute since we did. I haven't been on stage in since Sunday.
That's all right. I like this, Gary. We're getting some interesting conversation topics. So that guy Huxley, who wrote that book, the book he wrote about was about his experience on mescaline, and he mentioned, I guess, adrenochrome in the book.
Did you ever do mescaline?
I've never done mescaline. No.
I used to love mescaline.
Yeah. See, that's something that kind of died out, man. That died out with the 70s and 80s, bro.
Yeah. It was weird because I don't remember ever seeing like trails or trips. To me, it was just very fucking laughy. Like once you started laughing, you could not stop laughing, dude. It was a great time. It was. I used to love mescaline, man. I remember I used to take like 6 or 7 of those shits in one shot. Me and my boy Mark the Rat just eating them shits like candies and flipping the fuck out.
Did you ever do Quaaludes? Were they around in your time frame?
I didn't. No? Quaaludes, like I said, man, that's why when it comes to that whole Cosby shit, Quaaludes was nothing. That was, people ate those shits like fucking Tic Tacs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Quaaludes, I didn't get into Quaaludes because they were downers.
Right, now you're
I've never. The only thing that I ever really did that was kind of a downer, I guess, was weed. But to me,
it depends,
weed weed didn't really bring me down. It got me high, and like I still laughed. I still did shit. You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes I might have been a little more stoned than I wanted to be, but that was when I was young and, you know, naive.
That's a stereotype about weed too, that it makes you lazy and, you know, stuck in the couch. It can for sure, but that's not overall what happens.
One of my cousins, like, I can't smoke weed. I stay on the couch all day and I can't keep a job, and, you know, because of the weed. And I'm like, you haven't smoked in 6 years and you're still on the couch every fucking day and can't keep a job. Who do you blame now? What's the reason? The weed you used to smoke 5 years ago? Shut the fuck up. I hate when people blame drugs. I mean, I understand there's some people out there that are, like, you know, physically addicted, heroin, shit like that or whatever. But like weed heads, cut that shit out, man. Stop giving that shit a bad name.
Yeah, you smoke too much. That's what it is. You smoke too much. If you're laying around on the couch and you can't get up, you're getting too high. You got to fucking cut it out.
No, you're a lazy fuck anyway.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, of
because
course.
I smoke. I've done everything. I've been smoking since I was 13. I could probably figure out the days I didn't smoke since I was 13 than to tell you how many times I've smoked. It's like I smoke and I don't even consider myself getting high that day or doing anything that day. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if I ain't drink.
Right.
That's the one good thing about not being on stage. I haven't drank in a couple of days now.
Yeah, alcohol is no good for the body, man. It's not good.
It's not
good
and
for
I drink
the mind.
every night on stage.
There's
you know what I'm saying?
Zero benefits to alcohol other than the social lubricant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And yet, like, if I don't drink, then I haven't done anything in the last couple of days because all I've done is smoke weed. And to me, smoking weed, it's not.
Man, I tell you
what,
it's way better than being on a fucking SSRI or Ambien or any of that bullshit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you're high, but at the same token, you know, it's not bringing nothing out of you that ain't already in there, which is basically all fucking drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not bringing out, like, if you got an addicted personality, if you didn't do drugs, you'd be addicted to something else.
Right.
You'd be addicted to gambling. You'd be addicted to fucking chocolate or some shit.
Some people work for real. They work
some shit.
You know, they're workaholics. You know, same shit.
Yeah.
People who
it's whatever
eat too much.
It is that you use to fill your time. Mm-hmm. You know, and for me personally, like I said, you know, I've always done drugs to enhance my time and to enhance my experience of life, not to cover the pain of my experiences. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, in other words, I don't sit there and use weed or drugs to get away from the realness of life. I use it to enhance the realness of life. And sometimes what it enhances is the pain. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're on shrooms and shit and you take, you know, the right amount by yourself and you're going through shit, then it's going to enhance that shit and help you work through it and make you think about it, you know? Problem is most people don't want to be true to themselves. When they see shit they don't like, they bug out.
And that's the common thread, that if you find anybody who, you know, uses mushrooms or LSD in, you know, the right way, they have that same philosophy, you know? Like, you can't go through an experience like you're talking about, like that self-realization and keep being an asshole all the time, or have your head stuck in the ground, you know?
Oh, eventually you got to wake up to what's going on around you and realize that it's you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you create the reality that is your reality. You create that shit, you know, by the way you look at things. And I constantly deal with people that want to hold on to shit and they tell me I'm bullshit. How many people tell me I'm bullshit because I want peace in my life?
Right.
I can't affect the peace of the world, you know? I mean, maybe in some way we all can, but in reality, I could affect the peace around me. You know what I'm saying? And if everybody's in the same mindset of they want peace for themselves, they want peace, you know, then when you come in contact with a brother like me who wants peace, then we're not going to have no drama. We're going to have, you know, understanding and just kind of go about our thing.
Me and you have never had a disagreement ever, right?
No. I mean, we disagree on things, but we never had like a spat.
Right. No, never. Yeah. No, we disagree about shit all the time, but we don't have any disagreements, you know?
Yeah, because you're allowed to fucking think whatever the fuck you want to think, man. People get so touchy when someone doesn't agree with them, you know, because they feel like, you know, oh, they think they're right, I'm wrong. Sometimes it's not about being right or wrong. You just think what you think and I think what I think, and that's fine. You know?
I know I've asked you this before, but do you think...
Although I know I'm right most of the time.
When did you first have your first psychedelic experience? How old were you?
Oh,
you were older, right? Didn't you say you were like in your 30s now, or were you younger?
Oh, no, psychedelics. I was tripping on mescaline when I was probably 15, 14.
Oh, okay. early.
You know, acid 14, 15.
Yeah. That
Yeah, I was already tripping at like 14, 15, man. I smoked for the first time, I think at 13, 12 and a half, 13. I started smoking weed. So by 13, I was drinking and smoking weed. You know, cocaine, I probably didn't do till I was like 17. Well, I was still in high school. Yeah. So I was about 17, 16, 17 when I tried cocaine. But I already had tried hallucinogens. You know, I liked hallucinogens. I don't like those cheap shits either, like Whippets or Rush. Back in my days, you can go buy like a thing called Rush, and it said on it Rush, and they'd sniff that shit.
it was like a ammonia inhalant or something like
I
that.
don't know,
Probably.
junk box shit. I never liked
Yeah.
that junk box shit.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
No.
junk box shit, man. Fucking Huff. That's what it said, Huff. Or those fucking Whippets or fucking the motherfuckers that be sniffing. You know, like you probably sniff some Krylon out of some paper bags in your days.
No. See, here's the thing. People get twisted.
I know you got that kind of face that fits a bag.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
here's the thing. I want to make very, very clear. I had.
And then you come up and your face is all silver.
I had what you would call a pretty substantial drug problem. But one thing I did not have a problem with was my choice and selection of high grade quality drugs almost all the time.
Well, it's funny too because I've done so many drugs. Back in the day, I didn't buy. I was a drug addict back in the day. Whatever you had, I was pretty much down the road with.
Yeah. See,
and if I could smoke it, then I probably would try it for the most part. That's why I did dust, because I was able to smoke it. But I did not like dust. Whew. I can't even begin to understand how someone would want to be so fucked up. Like, why?
Dude, and the crazy part is it's so cheap. It's so
of
fucking
course
cheap,
it
bro.
is. It's a junk drug, man. It's one of them junk drugs, man. It's like, dude, why would you want to be incapacitated
to the fullest, bro?
Like I couldn't.
Have you ever smoked salvia? Like gotten really high on salvia? Dude,
I've heard stories about it.
Don't.
Any single story I heard was not good. Why do people do salvia? Well, the same reason why people are running out there getting vaccinated without asking no questions.
I was 17. That's why I smoked salvia.
That's my thing. My thing is I don't even do new drugs until they've been tested and I look at what the results are. I've never done salvia because I looked at what the results are and listened to what people had to say about it, and it was horrible. I've never done heroin because I looked at what the results were, what people say about it, that is so good. It's fucking horrible.
Right.
You know, I look at bath salt. Bath salt don't look like a fun Friday night.
See, you're wrong. You're wrong on a couple of counts, right? Salvia, the high isn't good on salvia.
No, the high isn't good at all, man. From what I hear.
Even prospectively, it's not good. But interestingly enough, the Native Americans used to smoke that shit a long time ago.
And where are they now?
Oh, dude. That's a documentary. That's a mockumentary idea. That the real
gonna get me canceled.
The real decline of the Native Americans was habitual salvia smoke.
You know, just like Harlem with crack in the Bronx.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, like bath salt, you were about to correct me on bath salt. I don't care if the high feels good. And I don't care if you don't feel the car that you just ran into in oncoming traffic, you know, that was doing 30 and you didn't feel it. I don't care if you didn't feel it. And I don't care if you thought it was fun. I'm looking at the results of that on the camera that caught you flying 7 blocks afterwards. I don't want to spend a Friday, not even a Monday like that. Doesn't like a good Monday. Let's go fucking do some bath salt and run into oncoming traffic.
The two times
I'll pass on that
I smoked PCP was great. Both the times I had a blast, but I would never do it again.
PCP is angel dust?
Same thing, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Did you have fun at least or no?
I told you the story. I was at 1018s. Mike Tyson was there in his prime, dog. He was there, like, not with me, but he was there chilling, had all these fucking, you know, bitches around him, chilling, everybody's hanging out. And I smoked that shit with my man Pete the Greek. spin. I felt like Mr. Potato Head, man. We was on the dance floor. I was dancing, and I felt it hit me. I felt my feet going, whoa, and I felt them. I could see the front of my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I was just floating on the dance floor, and I couldn't. I was trying to walk off the dance floor, and I was moving all, and that's not fun. A shootout broke out right when I got to the top of the steps. The only two people standing was the gunman and me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ducked and spread like the Red Sea, and he went running right through the crowd. And I just sat there like I wanted to be on the floor with everybody else. It looked safer.
You just didn't know how to get there.
I couldn't get there, man. You know what I'm saying? I just was stuck. And I was like, I'll never do this again. Why? I don't want to be stuck. That's like one time I told you when I was getting my leg tattooed, that shit was hurting me so much. My man told me he had, I think it was Oxy, but it might've been Perks. Mm-hmm. And I took 2 of them. I took 1 and it didn't do nothing. You know, like I'm sitting there and ain't doing nothing. The pain is just like, it was ridiculous that day. I don't know. But so I said, give me another one. I didn't feel none of those pills hit me until after the tattoo. Once the dude finished the tattoo, we went back to my house, me and him, that was me for the whole thing. I'm listening to them talk. I feel like I have so much to add to that conversation, but I was just, and I couldn't move.
It's good you have that kind of personality, bro, that you can recognize that this is not a good choice.
I couldn't move. And I wanted to add to the conversation. I had things to say, man.
Yeah.
A good conversation that I can't be a part of. How is that fun for me?
Yeah. Well, I think what happened to me, man, is I had a bad, I was covering up something, at 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever it was.
Well, did you get touched by a priest?
No, man. I think it was just
football coach.
I think I was depressed, bro. I really think I was depressed about the way the world was, and I couldn't face the reality of
feeling the pressures of the world.
Yeah, man. Just like
as a young white youth.
No, bro, I had the same perspective that me and you have right now at 15, that it's all going to come crashing down and it's just a matter of fucking time. And I couldn't.
So you've always been a gloom and doomer.
Dude, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it at 18. I was like, dude, this is fucked up. The government fucking sucks. Everyone's getting robbed out here, and it's just more and more and more shit is just going to happen.
See, that's the problem with you young folks, okay? That's the problem with you young folks. 18, what are you even thinking about that shit for?
Dude, no,
18, you should be out there trying to get that little dick wet. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be out there fucking thinking about the woes of the world. You should leave that to us. See, that's the thing. When I was coming up, I didn't give a fuck. I was around for the Iran Contra, for the all these wars, and I can tell you nothing about them. Why? Because I was too busy doing what 18 and 20-year-old. I was making money, hustling, doing the shit that, people that age do. I wasn't sitting here worrying about fucking government issues and how that affects me. I mean, I didn't pay taxes anyway at that time, so I didn't think about that shit. I left it to them. And I mean, they didn't do a great job.
They did a horrible job, bro.
Yeah, but now
they did a horrible job.
But the problem is everybody's involved now. We got you young motherfuckers thinking you know how to solve everything, and y'all know nothing. Y'all know nothing about life or what it takes, man. If it was, then you wouldn't be caring about things people say. What a person says. Well, that would be the last thing on your fucking mind. What pronoun a person uses would be the last thing on your fucking mind if you was a true adult and you were really caring about the things of this world and what's going on around you. How important is whether I say it right. I'm sorry if, you decided to change what I knew you to be for the last 15 or 20 years. And now in one day, you want me to remember the new thing. No, I might slip a couple of times. Right. I respect what you're doing. Let me get used to it. Let me work into it without getting fucking insulted. I don't even give a fuck. You know how many times I've been called Greg? You know what I'm saying? Like I worked for a dude 19 years, 11 months, and 3 fucking weeks. He called me Greg. And I didn't care because on the check, it was right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On the check, it was never wrong. So the fuck does everybody care, man? Like,
man, I didn't care about that dumb shit.
You're 18 years old and like the world is going to shit.
No. See, that wasn't the shit that I cared about. I wasn't a fucking pussy back then, bro. I was young, but I wasn't a Like I didn't care about people's fucking pronouns back then. I cared
No,
about
I
the
don't
same
mean
shit I
that,
care
but I'm
about
saying
now.
I'm not even
You
saying
know?
that. I'm just saying even caring about what's going on in the government and all that shit, man. Like I
Well,
wasn't thinking about that shit.
I mean, we're thinking about it now, bro. You know, we're talking about this shit all the time. I mean, this shit is starting to affect us and
Well,
affect.
I mean, you said we wasn't going to talk about this, and I didn't want to
Well,
talk about it. I was trying to talk about
you brought
Disney
you were the one who sent me the
and
fucking
the subliminal dicks.
the Israel McDonald's thing today.
Yeah, I knew
It's
I
on
shouldn't
you,
have brought up
bro.
the Israel
Yeah,
McDonald
it's on
thing.
you. But
I shouldn't have said that to you.
it's you know,
Look, I want to stop talking about it, but they keep fucking with us. That's
man,
the
and
problem.
we gotta talk about it the fucking
And
right
if you
way.
keep fucking with me, I'm gonna keep fucking with you right back. And you know, it's crazy because I think about how easy I am to take out. How easy I am to make disappear, dude. Nothing. It'll be like 3 days before my son even realizes I'm not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
It would take me like a week before I'd really start to worry.
Was your lady home for New Year's?
She wasn't. Nah, she was in Jersey. Yeah.
Oh, back in Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man,
She's coming down this weekend though.
Does she drive? She flies, right?
Flies. Yeah, she's flying
It's a
down.
lot of
Yep.
flying, man. I don't like going in the sky that much,
It's the
man.
last time she's gonna fly for a while. So we
Okay.
gotta make this one.
Yeah, I'm not with the flying shit. I don't like going up in the sky, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like going up in the sky. And why are all these fucking like planes getting so low near highways? Like, why is it the airport's right next to a highway? You couldn't get a run off the side of the highway. You got to come right over the top of the highways. Everywhere out here I go, I see planes. You know, you get to by Newark, them should be flying right over you, man. And I always in my head see one exploding.
That's for emergency landing, bro. I think that's why they put them like that. You know, if they gotta come down, they come down.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Imagine some shit like that.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this the other day too. A lot of times, to put airports near major intersections, obviously for people ease of getting there, but also noise. You know what I mean? They build up around, so there's no real residential areas. So they put the noise in a certain area. It's urban planning, my guy.
Tell those motherfuckers by LaGuardia. Tell that to them how they don't hear the noise of the planes and their shit don't rattle. The fuck out of here, man. What is the deal with those fucking little artworks that everyone's selling for millions of fucking dollars?
Yeah, so you're talking
what
about
are those?
You're talking about NFT. So an NFT
NFTs. What the fuck are NFTs,
right,
dog?
so
Please. You know, I'm an old man. Teach this old man why these things is what they are and why they're selling for so fucking much.
Okay.
And why don't we have one?
Right. Okay.
What do we have to do to make a fucking NFT?
So there's some stuff we need to talk about that we don't want to talk about on the podcast.
All right. True.
All right. So an NFT is a digital asset that represents real world objects like art, music, in-game items, and videos bought and sold online, frequently with cryptocurrency, and they're generally encoded with the same underlying software as cryptos. All right. So real world example of what that means, right? You have a one of a kind Rolex watch, right? There's no other Rolex watches that are like this anywhere in the world.
An actual Rolex
a physical
Rolex watch. You can wear it on your wrist. You can put it in someone's face and be like, look.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Same principle, not necessarily value-wise, but that there is only one in existence in the digital world, right? And that is what makes it then valuable, right? So really what you have to, wrap your head around is that the only reason that that anything has value is because it either serves a purpose or that people want it. And it doesn't have to be both. It can be either or both.
No, we've already agreed on that the only reason why people have value on anything is because they decided this has value. They said to themselves, there is value in this to me.
And in capitalism, we artificially create scarcity, right? To drive up value, right?
So one person just created this?
Correct. And yes, so this can be anything. It could, there have been times where there is a picture, right, of something that happened in the real world, a printed picture, and then it's digitized. And then that digitized picture as an NFT. All right, let's
wait a minute, but anybody could take that same picture that was taken in the real world and just create another NFT of it. Then
correct. But what this is backed by is the same technology that Bitcoin and Ethereum and other sort of, it's using the same technology, which is a web of, this is a basic explanation too, a web of checks and balances in the digital world that all don't know about each other.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Did that make sense to any of my listeners? Yeah.
No, and I, honestly, bro, I don't mean any disrespect, but it's gonna be a very hard concept to wrap your mind around about how that technology works without learning a bunch of other shit underneath that.
That makes me
I'm
say
serious,
you
bro,
just
because
can't, that
because
when people
I don't
say
understand.
shit like that,
I don't understand it fully. I'm dead serious, bro. It does not, like, I don't get it.
See, the way I look at it is like this, man. And I'm not saying we shouldn't make one, but so what you're saying doesn't even have to be a drawing. It doesn't even have to be a drawing.
No. All right. So here's another example.
We could take a screenshot of this.
Yeah.
Turn it into an NFT.
Yep.
And it's one of a kind.
Yes, but nobody's going to fucking buy it because it's bullshit, right? Because not enough people think that is worth anything.
So you have to make art. It has to be an art.
No, not necessarily. So you've seen the VR goggles, right? Like the people, and they go into like the virtual worlds. So basically, you can think of VR like online Grand Theft Auto or online Call of Duty. You got all these other people joining from different places, right?
Can you murder people on that shit?
You might be. You better believe if there isn't a VR game where you can kill other people, there will be one at some point, right? So all right, let's take Grand Theft Auto, perfect example, right? You have your character, you can design your character. Now here's where the NFTs come in, right? Nike makes an NFT for a limited pair of Jordans. They sell them for $1 million. Only one person's avatar in whatever virtual world you're in. So, they have like a Facebook and Instagram, a Comcast, or, whatever other news source or social media platform, TikTok, Twitter. We're going to have the same thing with metaverses where you're going to be able to put these goggles on and enter virtual worlds that other people own. Like Facebook's going to have a metaverse. Instagram's going to have a metaverse. There's going to be, right wing, left wing. There's going to be all these different worlds. And it's pretty much going to be like going into a video game, but you're going to put the shit on your face.
My son's been showing some crazy like VR.
You got to show you some stuff, bro. We need
like
to talk
VR
about something.
War games.
Yeah, bro.
And they got like white racist VR games where it's like they're in the South and there's this black kid who goes on and acts like one of the people in that VR world. And they'll be like, we're going to kill ourselves some black folks. And I'll be like, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't kill black folks today. And all of them turn around and be like, what? Say it again. Say it again. He goes, he doesn't sound like he's from the South. I hear some melatonin. And I'm like, yo, he puts up all these little TikTok videos and shit. I got to get his name, but he's hysterical. And then they wind up killing him.
Right. So essentially what we could do, bro, is we could put, how the NFTs are going to become bigger and bigger is, you're going to have your avatar that when you enter this world, just like a profile picture, that's what people are going to see. So in other words,
like I'm an avatar dude. My avatar could walk through this world. I meet an avatar chick. That avatar chick and me go back to my avatar house where I have a picture that I bought for $6 million hanging in my living room. That would be the equivalent of an avatar Picasso. So now she comes over the house and you go, oh, before we virtually fuck, which is nothing, take a look on my wall. There's $6 million. So that tells her that the dude whose virtual house she's in has a lot of virtual money. Because it's all virtual money too, right?
I mean, all your money is pretty much virtual now anyway. You think about that. Like, I mean, most of the money is all,
the bank gets mad when I take out money.
Right. Yeah. They don't want you to take cash out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want you to take cash out. And then what they're doing with your money is buying cryptocurrency on the top level. All that money goes back to the top of the bank and they're investing in cryptocurrency. So here's my
and I guess that's why they're keeping everybody kind of used to being home and shit. It's going to be a way to be home, but actually go out. Oh my God, people are going to be so addicted to it, they're never going to leave their homes.
Well, dude, you think about it now, and it's already
Never
like
gonna
that
leave
for
their
people
homes.
who are addicted to video games and social media. So everything is already there. It's just a matter of making the tech good enough for your eyesight and your feeling. You know, there has to be like feedback and shit like that. You know, it's like if I punch you in the face and knock you out in real life, which would happen, you need to be able to feel it virtually also.
You saw I threw a little dumb shit in there, man. I want to fight this, man. I'm ready to extend it to
you after I hit you. That's how you're gonna have all your meals, bro.
That was the dumbest shit you've ever took time to fucking do or say on this fucking podcast in 40 some odd fucking videos. That was the dumbest shit we've ever seen. It's gonna be you. And you're drooling. Fuck out of here with your fucking vape. Sucking on a fucking vape. Fuck out of here. Real cigarette.
So
like a fucking man.
The turning point, G, is going to be quantum computing. That's going to be the turning point. Quantum computing already sort of exists, but once they can do it at a cheaper,
is that you actually feel?
No, so quantum compute, like, so how computers work right now, like internally, the circuits, it's one or zero. It's a series of on and off switches, more or less, right?
Yeah.
So quantum computing is a 1 and a 0 at the same time. Now, I don't really understand from a physical sense how the fuck that works, but it can make the processing power millions of times faster. So once that happens,
so it'll be doing it before you even think it.
Right, and that's when people talk about automation and AI technology. So automation and AI isn't just robotic stuff. It's like Google Maps, right? When Google Maps first came out, it was dog shit. But since so many people had Google Maps on their phone and used it, Google takes that data and accumulates it over time, and the data number is ever increasing. So the computer has more points to run off of. So when quantum computing gets in, it can do all of that much, much faster. It takes down the processing time.
People are never going to leave their house, dude.
No.
I told you one time, because like I said before, people porn when it comes to like the virtual world, all the leaders in that shit.
Yep.
And I saw this dude on Facebook and he was watching the virtual porn, which is pretty cool, but I get caught up looking at the architecture, the architecture
the NFTs
of the room. It's like you sit there and you're like, yo, look at those ceilings, and like, you know what I'm saying? But the dude had shit like on all his fingers. He had his fingers in these like little tubes.
Yes.
And they were hooked up to wires. And he had the glasses on, things on that. He had some shit on his nipples, shit on his toes, and this like, it looked like this mic on his dick. And the dude was just,
now, can you imagine
bugging out
what sort of input had to go in on the other end? Like someone either had to program that, or a woman would have to do that thing to a sensor to feel what it is. And that's what you're going to have. You're going to have people. I mean, dude, you've seen, man, what the fuck was that show? Oh man. It was on Netflix a couple years back, and they would do each episode was a different storyline about like futuristic kind of shit. Did you see that? I don't.
It was on what, Netflix?
Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Is that the one where they had those people waking up every day and running on the treadmill?
Yes,
or bicycling on the treadmill?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that shit. But yeah, I know.
So, you can think about some of those things. Like obviously that's dystopian. But you have to take the dystopian shit and think about it through capitalism. You know what I mean? Because the companies want to figure out how all this stuff can generate money. If you're indoors and you're not at work, you can't generate money until the work from home thing. So you best believe they're gonna have motherfuckers working in VR. Like you're gonna clock into work with VR and run machines through VR.
Yeah, and instead of doing it on your computer, you'll be in VR doing it in the computer, and you'll be like, "Oh, this is so much fun! It's work."
And there's gonna be a fucking when you take your glasses off, It's gonna, you know, let your
Doc
boss.
pay.
Yeah, yes,
It's gonna
dude,
dock you pay.
bro. You know, the office job I have now, we have Teams, which is like a
That's
messaging app.
interesting.
What?
That's interesting shit right there, man.
I know, bro. I know.
And you're gonna get caught up.
Bro, this is why people need to, one, listen to Rated G, and two, look at things at scale. You have to look at things at a macro level and a micro level at the same time.
People are going to be
just
so addicted to going into another world.
Bro, they already are, G. They're already addicted to going into another world. You look at people.
I remember.
Yeah, I talked I talked to a family member, and they were saying when they delete Facebook and Instagram off their phone, they feel better and they're more productive, and they're less likely. Like it's already.
Of course,
it's all already here. The only thing that isn't here yet is the computing power to do it all, and the graphics rendering to do it all. That's the only thing. That's coming, bro. That shit is.
I remember when I first played Sims.
Yeah,
game
dude.
The Sims. When I first played Sims, I was so into that game, dude. I had a dope ass mansion. I had like a grow room because I found like trees that look like weed, and I just kept piling them up in this grow room, and I made it my grow room. I realized how addicted I was one day when I stood home from work, and I got up to put the kids, get the kids ready with my wife. My wife left for work, and I was sitting there playing Sims, and the next thing I knew, my wife and kids were coming home. She picked them up from school, and she was coming home, and I was there. Oh, I spent my whole day living vicariously through that game and going to work, making my man go to work, making him come back. Yo, it was crazy. And I said, I can't play this no more. Dude, man. I just spent the whole day. I just spent the whole day living a fake life.
Mm-hmm.
So now imagine when you could put that on and travel and go places and
the thing
be
with
a
VR,
dirty
bro,
whore with yourself.
Is it's going to be
and it doesn't affect you in any way. You're going to be so addicted.
The immersion level that you're going to feel, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, bro. People they're going to have better lives in VR than you will outside.
Of course.
It's just what's going to happen.
Of course your life is going to be better in VR, but it's not going to be real, people. It's insane. Oh yeah, you are, because you'll be able to create your own thing. So you'll be having like ugly people creating good looking fucking whatchamacallits. Going out,
you could be
having relationships for years, with another simulated person, and then they'll link up and they'll realize neither of them look like their fucking character, and there'll be a new show on MTV, if anybody's even watching that anymore, about people who hook up in the virtual world, and it's like a different kind of catfish, insane. And then you'll meet couples that meet in the virtual world, and they meet in person, and they fall in love, and they go home and sit in their living room, and they both put on their glasses, sitting next to each other, and still live their lives out in the virtual world.
It's wild, dude. It's so wild.
Isn't that something to look forward to?
It's so fucking, because there's just so many ways that it could fucking like go down. There's so many ways.
I can't even believe we're having this conversation because it sounds so fucking stupid.
Gee, the crazy thing.
It's gonna happen.
The crazy thing is too, bro. Okay, what year were you born?
70.
70.
The last of the great years.
And you're what? 51. So that would be what? 1939, right? It's 51 years prior to you, right? 51 years prior. And what life was like on the planet Earth in 39. Would you say you were born? 70 what?
70.
I think the world in 39 and 70 were a lot more closely related than they are in 2021 and when you were born.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like just in culture and everything. Like the tech, we haven't realized how big of an impact this tech has had on us.
Most people haven't realized, but I definitely have.
Yes, yeah, agreed. Like I remember my parents getting the first computer in our house, right? Which is at the same time everyone else had a fucking computer in their house. Every other white person had a computer in their house.
Yeah, I didn't get a computer for years.
I mean, I'm talking about this is like 97. My parents got a computer in 97. We had a home computer.
I remember thinking, what the fuck is all this shit?
But
and I still feel the same way. That's the craziness.
But dude, in that time, from dial-up to no internet at all, zero fucking internet in 95, 94, really zero internet pre-94 to 2021. How much shit has happened since then? Like, dude, this thing, this switcher, it's fucking small, and that used to be 4 fucking things in a TV studio.
Dude, I'm sitting at my table. I'm not even plugged into anything.
Dude, it's crazy, bro. And we're talking to each other from fucking Florida. I
With
remember there was a
none
movie
of that.
called Xenon Girl of the 21st Century, which was a Disney movie that came out when I was like 11. And they had these hand devices, and they would call up to their friends in the space station. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Video chat from your fucking pocket.
Star Trek had flip phones.
Dude, and you can search literally anything you ever wanted. It's crazy.
Why do they even call it a phone?
Dude, it's not. Dude, it's a personal
Nobody even
computer.
likes. That's the least favorite thing anyone likes to use on there is the phone.
The tech in this is more powerful than what the first landing on the moon had. The computer processing power in this. Dude, they went up to space. They went up to space. They went up to space in like the 60s. They went to the moon, and they didn't have digital anything. There was no digital. Everything was analog, bro. Everything was fucking analog. Sound traveled through the air.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you can't even fucking call in spots in Ohio.
Dude,
I can't even call New York in spots in Ohio.
When the time they went on the moon, they didn't
But
have
they were able
running
to get clear-
fucking water.
Clear communication.
Hawaii was barely a fucking state when they went to the moon. Alaska was barely a fucking state. You know what I mean? They like.
How did we just get to the moon just now? We made a left turn somewhere and started talking about the moon conspiracies.
I'm talking about scale, man. You gotta look at things at macro scale. One other point, bro, on this. Another to end it, right? The iPhone. Cleopatra, the last one, because there was like 40 of these motherfucking Cleopatras, right? Was closer in time. Her death was closer in time to this device and this present moment than she was to the beginning, to the building of the pyramids, to the finishing of the pyramids getting built.
That sounds like you just made a very deep fact there that I'm not gonna say. Right over my head. I don't even know. Maybe I need to sit up a little straighter.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand that one. Man.
Cleopatra, right? You know her of being around in the time of the pyramids, right?
I don't. I never met the woman.
You know of the woman. Yes?
I've heard of her.
Okay. So Cleopatra, she was a Egyptian pharaohess, right? At the end of the Egyptian empire. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Her death is closer to today than when they built the pyramids. So more time has elapsed between the pyramids getting built and her dying, or being born for that matter, and then her dying to today.
Damn, how old was she?
It's how young she was, bro. It's how young ago she was. And I'm only saying that to really illustrate the point of the past 20 years, what the fuck has happened in the world. We haven't even realized it yet. We have not realized the implications of any of it. Barely starting to scratch the surface. Barely
even reaching the cylinder dome on the top of our planet.
And there's going to be no way to stop any of it because of how much money it makes.
Well, yeah, the question now, going back, let's bring it back to those pictures and shit, man. So you could create like I guess even pots and pans.
Yeah, the things you would really want to create would be something like custom design T-shirts, where you would do. So here's an example of a new job that's going to get created. I can do graphic design and fuck. That was probably the worst joke we've had on here. I don't mean worse as in not funny, just worse as in
Just worse. That's probably the worst thing I've said out. Yeah, it could be. It could be. This is what happens when you don't let me get on a stage for 2 days. I start just plapping everything out of my mouth. I can't. That might be the worst. Even now I'm thinking, I'm not going to say I regret what I said, because everybody who's mad knows that was a good analogy. But yeah, it's probably the worst thing that's ever come out of my mouth on this podcast. I'm not going to claim I've said much worse things, but I don't think on this podcast.
No, that takes a cake. I thought it was kind of funny though, and accurate.
But it says you could do that.
Yeah, more or less accurate. But you know,
now, if you get a hacker who hacks into people's systems who make these things and steals their avatars, and then goes and like has this time where everyone can go and see the avatars made and buy black market avatars.
Dude, I wonder if we could create the first fully.
I'm not even gonna have a career. My career is I'm not. Why do I even bother trying to have a career? My mouth always destroys me.
Create the first fully synthetic digital drug that we can then sell to people, and it'll give them some distorted sense of visual and motion on the haptic feed.
Yo. Now you're talking, because there's certain visual things that appeal to the eye that releases endorphins. So if we can create a drug that they take in that world, and on their screen, they see these things that actually do affect their mind in a way that releases endorphins.
I got to say, bro, it'd be a lot of fun to eat Molly and go into one of these VR chat worlds for a while.
I'm not going to say it don't look like, I'm not going to say that shit don't sound fun. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it sounds like real fun, which is going to have people fucking addicted, because like you said, their life is going to be more exciting in there than it is in real life. So you'll have people at work just dying to go home and be that person who goes to work and does other things. So it's like you said, you know, like if you're a computer programmer or shit like that, then you incorporate that into a person. You know, most of the motherfuckers are nerds anyway. So you get to stay home, put on this thing, be a person that's, you know, a fucking spy by night. But during the day, you go there and you do what you do, and they still get the same output.
Yep.
Now they don't have to, you know, like it's crazy, man.
And there's going to be different worlds too. You know, there's going to be so many different worlds of just shit like this.
Oh yeah, and then what'll happen is like fucking Monsanto. Did I say that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Monsanto, is that what that's called?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen is they're gonna create virtual food. And they're going to make it that there's a thing that in order for your thing to stay alive, you've got to feed it. Just like on The Sims, the food will go down.
And they'll charge you for it.
And they're going to charge you for the virtual food to keep your sim alive.
Yeah. So there's also going to be, you know.
That's insane.
Yeah. That is nuts.
They're going to kill us right now. This is the episode that got us killed, people, because we just broke it.
So
they're going to have everybody home in regeneration pods, with little massages on your butt cheeks to keep you from getting clots and shit. And you're just going to sit in these cones all day. You're going to be able to work, fucking go places, anywhere you ever want to travel. You'll be able to go. Fuck whoever you want to fuck.
We got to get a metaverse person on the show. We got to get somebody in here, somebody in the business.
My cousin, Julio.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I got a cousin Julio. I probably do. Chances are pretty good. I got a cousin Julio.
3 or 4 cousins named Julio.
Yeah, I mean, chances are really good. But
I think it'd be fun, dude. I think it'd be cool to talk to somebody that fucking knows a lot about it.
Yeah, man. That shit is all just fucking. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, but there'll be, you know, there will be some cool shit. Like you could do stand up and you could have a whole fan base there, you know, like you build up
It's not cool, man. I mean, I guess it is, because then you'll just say whatever, because not like they could actually step up on stage and punch you in the face.
I mean, dude, it's the same thing as what we're doing right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's some fucking.
But imagine this, bro. We do the same show that we're doing now. We build a virtual studio at a virtual, you know, some virtual piece of land. We build a studio. Me and you put the goggles on. We have the shit set up. We look at each other. We talk, and then people can sit and watch live.
Oh, they would do it. You could even have it as dude. They're gonna have programming. You're gonna have people. You're gonna have people paying for cable. You know what I'm saying? Because, boom, once again, you go to Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
You used to be able to go home after, you know, raping and pillaging and murdering. You'd be able to go home to the comfort of your home, right? And you'd be able to watch TV.
Yep.
And there were times that I would go, I'd murder, pillage, go back home, I'd light a blunt, put on the TV, and I'd sit there and I'd watch the programs. I had programs that I actually liked on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they had episodes. So now what's going to happen is in that virtual world, you'll be able to go home and put on that virtual TV. But then they're going to offer you packages like cable to get crazy type of shit on that TV. So that you can watch shit other people can't watch. Those whatchamacallits, you know, you'll be able to pay like 26,000 of virtual money to watch a snuff film in the virtual world of a virtual snuff, but it's a one of a kind. You're the only one who owns that snuff film. See how dark it can get quickly? See how that just went from fucking living a better life as a spy to snuff films being bought?
That's why I did drugs, bro. I was thinking about all this shit too young.
It's a lot to take in.
Dude, it is.
And not for nothing, people. This is just, you know, our own my theories are just growing as I'm hearing about it. I know nothing about this shit. So, you know, don't take me. I got a GED.
Well, and also I am telling you about a lot of this stuff, but I know pretty much what I said.
That shit is crazy. No, I'm just taking what you said and seeing where you can go with that concept of what you're saying. And personally, I think that's where it's going to go, because it's been proven that, you know, whenever you get something that, like, the internet should have been good. And in a lot of ways, it is good. But there's so many bad things about the internet.
The capitalism, dude, is what the profit motive is what kills anything pure. You know,
but just the shit that's on there.
Trafficking,
sex trafficking,
right, of course,
trafficking, children, right. All that shit is on the drugs. All that shit is on the internet. If you know where to look, you can get it.
And the level of I was talking to somebody today, and it's like the level of information that you can access on the internet. It's impossible to filter through what's real and what's not. It's impossible. There's so much conflicting shit. So much. You don't know what to believe. And it's all by design.
Of course. The best way to fight information is through false information and overflow of information. And next thing you know, there's all this stuff out there. You can't even figure out what's right and what's wrong and what's real and what's not. And of course, it's all by design. You know, I mean, you're dealing with people that, you know, they create commercials, you know, like just normal shit, like, you know, normal. They manipulate people every day just normally. People are home watching TV.
That's what I do.
They pay people to know who is home watching TV at that certain time. And then they cater the shit they sell to those things, you know, and they pay thousands and thousands and probably millions of dollars to psychiatrists and shrinks who sit there and teach them how to manipulate people's minds. That's why, you know, your commercials get louder. You know, why do the commercials get louder? Well, because they've proven that most people, when the commercial comes, they'll get up and they'll go to the kitchen or they'll run to the bathroom real quick. So they make the commercials louder so that when they walk away, they still hear it in the next room. That's why those go up. You know what I'm saying? That's why they made TVs that now have the leveling of the volume. So you set the volume to the movie and then those loud ass commercials come back down, but you got to pay extra for that. you know, otherwise they're just slowly fucking, you know, manipulating your brain slowly. You don't realize
This is the kind of shit that
you know.
I struggle with, because this is what I do as a profession. You know, I make videos, you know, for a company. You know, I had my own business, and I do it for this podcast. And that was one of the reasons, you know, the titling of our episodes, they go into, you know, stuff that's trending, you know, because we usually talk about a current event. So if I make the title a certain way, it's going to get more views. Like when that Astroworld thing happened, just because I had Astroworld in the title, I conspiracies Astroworld investigation. That's why we got a bunch of views on it. And it's fucked up because, you know, you want to put something out, but you're doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing that the businesses are doing, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's
the same. You know, so it's like, fuck, you try to be an artist and like you have to play the game, you know, if you don't.
And that's the worst part about being an artist. And if you don't, there's a reason why people don't know who I am. It's not because of my lack of talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
You won't,
and that's one thing I've always respected about you, bro. Is that
you know, that's not me even being a dick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talented. If I didn't think I was talented, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. If I wasn't
right,
if I wasn't right, then I wouldn't be making money doing what I'm doing. You know, technically, I haven't even hit 8 years yet. So technically, when I got into the game, they told me 8 years before you ever get paid.
Well, you're doing pretty good.
So the reality is, I know I got talent, but there's a reason why people don't, you know,
right?
Because when it comes to playing the game, I've been offered the opportunities to play the game, and I didn't play. I just
there's a buddy of mine I know who does video work similar to me, and he's much better. He's a much better camera operator. He's a much better, you know, all the artistic stuff, way better camera operator, better framer, better.
That's easy to believe. You say that that's not easy to believe.
I just really want to illustrate the point. This kid is much more
he's better
talented.
than you.
Yeah, he's better than me. But what he's not better at me at is the business end of it. And the fact that when I make video for somebody at a like when we exchange money, it completely changes. Like I don't have any artistic integrity. You know, you either have it or you don't. You don't have a little. You either have it or you don't. You know, it's an all or nothing thing.
Yeah.
So once we exchange
you
money,
know, you're doing, you know, he sits there, he goes to those parties just because he has to. You sit there, you go to those parties, and you know.
Exactly. But like, you know, like this
you
show,
get it popping.
I have a different love for this show because at the moment there's no financial incentive for me, you know. But it could be for us.
I can't wait till me and you are fighting over money.
Yeah, I know. Me too, right?
Till you see articles of us fighting over money. But the truth is, I wouldn't fight over money. You know what I'm saying? Like the truth of the matter is that, you know, I'm gonna get what I fucking feel I deserve at the end of the day. But you know, it's just money. You know, if we're arguing over millions, God bless the day we should be arguing over millions.
It's like, you know, bro, you can't do both. You know, you can't have your artistic integrity and get paid too. You know, it doesn't work like that.
It's hard.
You know? It doesn't.
Believe me, it's hard because I got my that's why I need another person to be my mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I don't have to say the things, because it's not like I don't conform a little bit. I conform a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I put on the mask inside when I had to. I put out my arm for the temperature every time I had to. I conformed a little bit, you know, because none of that shit affected me internally in any way. So that's fine, you know, whatever. But, you know, there's a point where you got to draw the line. And I draw the line with, you know, you telling me what to put in my fucking body, especially if I don't trust you. That's the problem I got. People go, I don't get it. You do drugs. Yeah, but I'm deciding to put that in. No one's coming there saying, you know, no one's ever sold me drugs. The drugs sold themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've never not wanted drugs and they convinced me to buy drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there going, I don't really know if I want to buy that Coke. And they're like, let me tell you something about this Coke. This Coke is the best Coke on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? And all right, you got me. I'll buy some. No. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you know, get out of here with that shit, man. I just draw the line with that. I don't, you know, and here's the thing. I don't even do drugs from people I don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't get no drugs in Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This one dude said, yo, I came out the hotel. This dude said to me, yo, you need Coke? And I said, nah, I don't want no Coke. And he said, you want Molly? And he goes, nah, dude, I'm good. He goes, you want that meth? And I said, dude, he was just naming shit until you said yes. And no matter what you said, he was going to give you the same bag that was in his hand.
Right.
Bag
of nothing.
Whatever you said, that's what he had in his hand. You know what I'm saying? He was just reaching.
Yeah, he had a bag of sugar in his pocket that he was going to sell you.
Exactly, man. No matter what, you were getting whatever the same shit was in his bag. It wasn't like he had all that shit. Dude was like, man, they have everything. Yeah, you keep thinking they have everything. They have your death in a baggie. You know? So
which is some bullshit. Yeah, or just a bag of flour. Fucking anything. Yeah. You know?
I mean, if it comes down to I don't even buy drugs. I never bought drugs from people. I never did drugs from people I don't trust, and I'm not going to start to do it now.
Right.
You know, plainly put. Plainly put, man. It's not going to happen.
Gee, bro.
But you look depressed.
I'm not depressed.
That was a heavy conversation, dog.
It was.
You just turned me on to the whole metaverse thing, man. You know, but we definitely got to figure out how to get into that shit, man. Yeah, that drug idea is a great idea.
Yeah, I got some ideas.
That's a great idea, dude. Mm-hmm. And then the thing is all spent with cryptocurrency, which the value of that changes.
Yeah, so does the value of regular money, though.
Yeah, no doubt, but it's more noticeable in cryptocurrency.
That's
in other words.
No.
That's
inaccurate. There are the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum will be more volatile than other ones, but there are other coins that are way more stable than those.
All right, but I'm just saying you could like basically sell, you know, for 6 million in Bitcoin, which is probably, you know, like 2 Bitcoins. Let's say it was 2 Bitcoins. You know what I'm saying? Because things like what, 30-some thousand, 60,000 in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's say it's 2 actual whole Bitcoins. Mm-hmm. And out of those 2 Bitcoins that you got was whatever, you know, 100,000 or 200,000. Let's say they were 100,000 each Bitcoin. But now the Bitcoin is worth, the price goes up. Now it's worth, you know, each Bitcoin is worth 300,000.
Right. I mean, it's the same way. If you bought a house in South Florida in the 70s, you paid $40,000 for it, and now the land is worth 1.5 million. You know, you just have to look at it. It's don't look at it as currency. Look at it as an asset, a digital asset. You know what I mean? Like the stock market can fluctuate heavily.
That's what I'm saying. The fluctuation is a lot quicker, though.
Yeah, but that's only with Bitcoin that you're talking about. It's not like that for all of them. You know what I mean?
My question is,
so look at this here. Hold on. The value of the U.S. dollar. We have inflation here, but it's not that bad. It's like 3% every year, right? Of the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, which I think is bullshit too. But go ahead.
Fine, but a country like Venezuela has hyperinflation. A country like Greece has hyperinflation. So while it is both currency from a country, they don't change at the same rate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all currency.
Not at the moment.
Correct. Not at the moment. But the same thing.
Not till they create.
But do the same thing with gold. Yes, gold, diamonds, oil, all those things. You know,
which in reality have the same value as those NFTs, because it's whatever you whatever you say is valuable.
Correct. But here's the difference, right? So the people who fix the price of oil is OPEC, right? Right now, no one really is fixing the price of Bitcoin. There are ways that a country like China can have an impact, just like we can on the global economy. Like big companies or countries or persons who have a lot of wealth can make anything fluctuate. You know, can make anything fluctuate. That doesn't change with the digital currency, but it's more secure in the sense that the government isn't printing the digital currency. You know what I'm saying? They don't have control over it. They can affect it, but they don't have control over it like they do with paper money.
Not yet.
Well, they're going to create something. The U.S. is definitely going to create a digital currency.
Now, what would happen, hypothetically, right, if like everything switches over to that now? Now everything is just cryptocurrency. There's not even a dollar. Dollar means nothing no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you hold the dollar, it only means something if somebody finds value in that dollar as something that was old and it's still around and you got it, you know, and they want to pay you in cryptocurrency for it, you know. And then one day you wake up and you turn on your computer and everything's gone. It's just all gone. Everybody around the world, all their computers are just crashed. Everything's gone. What happens at that particular moment?
Well, that could happen. You know, I don't know is a great answer. I have no clue, but that could happen fucking right now. And all your financial documents will be fucking gone.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have paper money at this particular point, like in other words, if you're sitting on $5,000 or whatever, $50,000, $100,000, you're sitting on that. That's what you're sitting on.
Right. So
if everything crashes, if the stock market crashes, right, and you still sitting on $100,000.
Yeah, but it's not worth anything anymore. You know, if the stock market crashes, bro, this is something that the feeling.
See, I still think people would use that to trade and buy.
Well, I don't think they would, because everything would be haywire at that point, right? So, but let's talk about it like this, right, bro? Like, so, you know, there's tons of money, like Italian, the Italian currency pre-euro. You know, they didn't have the euro, so overnight the currency completely changed, and it wasn't like they lost value for it. But like, say a government in an African country, you know, say Sudan, they have the Sudanese dollar or whatever. I'm making this up. If the government topples and a new government comes in, all that Sudanese money isn't worth shit anymore. It's like the Confederate States. So
you can't even trade it in.
No, bro, because it's not worth. It's not worth anything.
It's not worth nothing
because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by anything. So how? Let's just use the U.S. We used to have.
Makes sense.
We used to have the U.S. currency worked like this. We had the Confederate States and the Northern States. Each had different money, right? And you can still buy Confederate dollars, and they're worth something now because they're antiques. But you can't trade.
That's what I was saying.
You can't trade.
But you can't trade with them.
Correct. I mean, somebody might.
You can.
You can.
Because you can't take it to somebody who would probably buy it in cash and say, here, instead of giving me cash, I'll take that call.
Which is really what you need to think about with money in general anyway. Because the only reason anybody's taking it now is because the government is saying we're backing this with something. But it's all artificial. The only, like I said it before.
So the government is basically saying we'll accept this as payment for the things you owe us. And since the government will take it, everybody else takes it too.
Yep. It's the fragility of it all, man. It's all so very, very fragile. Like, you know, for example, all right, say we have U.S. currency in Bitcoin, which we have. Say the U.S. government comes down, the U.S. dollar is worth nothing anymore. But if you had money in crypto, or money in gold, or money in silver, or diamonds, or you had land, you can still trade that for goods, you know. But the difference, but the difference with the U.S. dollar is it used to be backed by gold that we kept, and it got to a point where we couldn't have enough gold for how much money we needed to print, so we got off the gold standard, and then we got into the system of credit and debit.
Then we got to the system of we print it, it's good. If it's on this paper, it's good.
Dude, it's not going to last.
If you mark that marker and it comes out this color, it's good. What backs it? See, really, the only thing that has to back it, though, like you said, is the government.
American military.
Is the people who control the military. That's the only one that has to back it, because at the end of the day, it's like if the government says, "Look, you owe us this, and this is what we'll take as payment," then it has value to it.
Right.
And other people will respect that value, because if it's good enough for the government, better be good enough for your ass too.
And the powers
because you don't own an army.
The banking institutions and the federal government don't want cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, to really take off, because then they won't have control over the printing press anymore, right? So say we do.
Here's the thing, but wait a minute. Does the government see? That's what I'm saying. Like, but wait a minute, because you could have all this cryptocurrency, right? Mm-hmm. But unless you turn it into the currency that the government accepts, so does the government accept crypto? Like, can you pay your taxes in cryptocurrency?
No, but people are starting to get paid, and you can conduct business transactions with crypto.
You can make all the money in the world, but can you pay your taxes with it? See, in other words, there's got to come a point where you turn that cryptocurrency into a currency that the government will accept, because that's what it's all about.
100%. But what could happen is if capitalism takes control of Bitcoin and overtakes, if the capitalistic and the financial incentive for business globally is to get Bitcoin, and it'll start going up, it'll squeeze it'll squeeze. If the market will dictate it, it'll squeeze the shit out. Yep. 100%. The market dictates, bro. Capitalism
eventually
dictates
the
everything.
businesses are going to be like, come on, like this is blowing up. This is what they're using. They're not coming into my stores no more because this little 5 and 10 rinky dink motherfucker is making virtual clothes and they're not even getting dressed no more. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
And you have to give the government the benefit of the doubt with, if they're going to move into crypto and it's going to be a decentralized currency, you better believe that the government is going to allow that to happen with things in place for them to get a tax of every single transaction that goes on in or out. Of course. And that's really where it will happen. It'll be converting it into the currency that you need to either pay the tax man to buy a house or to do.
Because the whole world can the whole country can make what they want on that shit. But at the end of the day, when the government comes to calling, you're going to have to turn it into whatever currency, it is that the government uses.
And it's more of a global thing because you have to think about.
Because in a sense, you don't see real money anyway. Your shit gets deposited.
Direct deposited to a debit card.
So what is that currency?
It's not. It's numbers. It's numbers on a screen. And that's
it's what literally numbers on a screen.
And bro, that's what all of it is. That's why I have a hard time talking to people who don't understand it and aren't willing to listen like you, because it's all.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's what
it's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing. The difference is the control factor, and the way
the difference is in. There's some sort of.
All right, so we'll take Bitcoin as an example, right? So Bitcoin has a fixed amount of supply, right? There'll never be more, there'll never be less, right? There's only X amount of Bitcoin available forever, right? And they don't know who set Bitcoin up. No one knows. And no one knows, it's on the person who created it, broadcasts it out to the tech nerds, right? And it's this big mystery. I could go into it, but there's no, it's all in the internet, that's where all the shit is located, in the internet.
Nobody even knows who created this shit.
But nobody is capable of creating more Bitcoins. They can only get the ones that are out there in cyberspace, right?
Unless some hacker figures out the code of a Bitcoin.
Right. So here's the thing. The code is all public. It doesn't actually work like that. So when I trade a Bitcoin between me and you, we have an app called Coinbase and I send it to you. That transaction goes through a series of unrelated checks and balances through people that are called miners, right? And they're validated.
Yeah, I know. I've bought drugs on the dark web before.
So it's getting validated through that mining process. So the miners don't know what the transaction is. All they're doing is checking, and people have built setups to do mining all over the place because after they mine a certain amount, they get paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, but now who are these miners?
Miners can be any. So really, there are miners all over the place. I know a guy down in Texas who is doing it as a side hustle, but you better believe the American government and China has factories full of mining centers, and they're doing the mining. Because they have an incentive, because there's a financial incentive behind it. And if anybody watching this can tell me I'm off base in my understanding of this, please let me know, because I would love to be corrected.
If anybody out there even understands, feel free to hit me up and tell me what he's talking about. I get what you're saying, but see, here's what I just don't. You know what it is now? I guess I'm just too old school. Because like you said, it's the same shit anyway. People go and they direct my money into the thing,
What's the difference, bro? What's the difference if you got paid in US dollar,
it doesn't matter,
Chinese
as long as
yen,
I can pay my bills.
Bitcoin? Exactly, it doesn't matter. You don't care what it is, but you would rather rather have a currency that isn't controlled by the federal government?
Of course.
Bitcoin's your move, bro.
Yeah, I just don't like, because you got to buy that currency. Because here's the thing, though. You got to buy that currency with this currency.
You can use Bitcoin to purchase shit, bro, online
Not
all
if you
the
don't.
time.
But for me to get into Bitcoin, I'd have to put in money.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How do I get a Bitcoin without putting in money initially?
Of course, but you can put in $5, bro. You can put in as little amount of money as you want, and you can accrue Bitcoin over a period of time. That's what I do. I put like $50 a week in from time to time. You should. I'll help you get set up if you want to. If you want to get into it a little bit, I'll show you what I do. Dude, you don't need to get a lot, bro. Man. I mean, listen, bro. I bought
fucking weird, man.
Listen, so the other thing I said to my mom, I said, you don't need to understand really how it works to understand.
Yeah, just know that's just know that shit you should be doing right now.
It's a shit you should be doing. Like, you didn't understand the internet, bro. But if someone told you 10 years ago, when you were doing to do a podcast, like, dude, if we were the first two doing a comedy podcast like this, and we started 10 years ago,
is this a comedy podcast?
Not really. No, it's the sad face. When you have like the happy and the sad face next to each other, we're the sad face.
Is it? I don't know. I don't remember saying many funny things lately. I've said some bad things. I'm gonna watch this back and be like, probably shouldn't have said that. But I can't help myself, dude. This is honesty in its rawest form. You want honest, people want honesty, then this is honest. I'm just being honest, man. And I'm not saying I'm always right, and I can't, I can be insensitive. I'm not already making a forgiving thing, because I'm not gonna apologize for what I said. I said it. I didn't mean anything. Like, anybody gives a fuck what I say.
No one's watching fucking 2 hours into this show anyway.
Are we on for 2 hours?
we're like an hour 40.
Yeah, man. Whatever. Maybe, you never know. Some people like to hang with us, Brian.
I know. Yeah, I like that. I shouldn't say that.
Some people like to hang with us.
I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I shouldn't say
that.
Someone
just heard that and they're like, "What are you talking about, man? I watch all your shit."
I know. I'm sorry.
I watch it all.
Sorry.
See, I like to believe the views that we get are full views. And I know you told me that you can see that they're not, but I don't care. I just want to believe what I want to believe. You got to grab inspiration wherever you can.
Even in ignorance.
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. It's like the missionary who went to this fucking tribe, and he told them about their savior and said, if you don't accept your savior, there's no way you can get in. And he said, but what if you never came here and we never knew? And they go, well, then you wouldn't have known, then, you would probably receive the mercy. And he goes, so you're telling me if you never told me about it, then I wouldn't be held accountable? And he said, no. He goes, why'd you tell me about it? Why are you telling me shit to make me accountable and shit? I don't know what made me tell that story, but
that's why I don't get down with religion, bro. Organized religion. That's why I don't get down with it, because of what you just said.
Well, yeah, there's that old little twist right there. Do you not know about the Lord? But once you know about the Lord, then you're held accountable.
I've never heard that said like that before.
Well, I have a way with my words. I don't know why I do.
Okay.
Listen, man, I want to thank everybody for hanging out, because the truth is, man, I could talk all night. But that's come a point where we call to an end and leave you hanging to want to hear another. Next time, I think we're going to have much more better conversation. I'm getting out of my slump.
That was a good episode, bro. It was depressing in the sense of the topics we're talking about, but it wasn't a depressive nature that we had. I think it was an enlightening episode.
No, I felt kind of gloomy on the last episode, but I watched it back. It wasn't that bad. It's just me. It was an inward thing. I was going through depression. If you struggle with depression, feel free to smoke one of these. Eventually, you'll get over it. I mean, that's what I did. I'm feeling a little better now. I mean, I'm not 100. I'm not back to 100. I missed my show yesterday because we got snowed in. The best thing about Atlantic City was we never got snow. Since I've been out here, I've never had to unbury my car. Today, I was out there for 2 hours unburying my car. Fucking horrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I missed my show yesterday. But big shout out to Adam Gable for holding it down, Matt Bridgestone for going out there and helping, and to everybody else who still had the show go on, because the show must go on. And catch me next week out there on Monday over at the Grizzly Pear for the Not Quite Tuesday midnight show. And other than that, I have off this week, but we'll be back, I think, Saturday or Friday. Check the website, AC Jokes, and you can catch me over there. Brian never has anything to add. Sometimes he does. And yo, follow us on Patreon.
Yep.
Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Feel free to comment, man. I answer back the comments, even if they're like, telling me I'm a dick. I don't give a shit. You're allowed to think I'm a dick. On behalf of myself and my partner in Misinformation, Brian Licata, thank you for listening. That's another episode of Rated G, man. Peace.
Peace.